Hello, and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft server with me, Xerath, and today is the day that we build the Kambruta 2.0, my most ambitious project I have ever done. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we, and start Kambrutarating and making up verbs. So last episode we made the flinger part of it, a nice and accurate flinger. There they go. We'll be replacing these with ingredients that then we want to trapdoor flap so they land down in this brewing stand here. This is the whole goal of it, but we've got to try and make it all smart and computery as well. And to make things a little bit easier for us today, I went ahead on a live stream and gathered a bunch of stuff and got a little bit more afterwards as well. You can see we've got 11 sort of primary ingredients here. We've got some nether wart, we've got some fermenting eyes to kind of invert some stuff. We've got glowstone redstone for the timing and the potency of potions, and then also these two to make things throwable and stuff like that. So these are 17 items. They are the ones that we need to be having flinging through the air in 17 orders, sort of thing, like the same order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 17, and then the same again instead of these glass bottles, and that will give us access, or rather this brewing stand access, to receive, to catch everything that is flown above it, should we wish to trappy flappy door it downwards. I've also gone ahead and borrowed from one of our previous experiments the wool wall here. If we just trigger it, because they're all ready to go, the lovely colourful wool here will create the best wiring we can possibly ask for, and this thing is all about the wiring. So for your benefit, for my benefit, all of these walls, I've just collected them out. So we actually had a whole bunch. Every single one had way more than a full stack of every colour. So I've just added an IOU here for a single stack of every colour, and I've pulled those out here into this shulker box so we can grab this and start wiring up. Because this thing, it's a lot like my brain, you know? It's complicated on the surface, but when you really look at it, it's actually quite simple. So let's kick this build off by stop talking about brains and start talking about hearts. Ow, that hurt. This is the heart of the Kambruta. We have a massive clock down here. Now, the launcher here, if you remember, was powered by a 3 ticks on, 3 ticks off clock. Very much like this. Very, very simple. Quickly flick it on. It's literally like this side's on, then this side's on, with 3 ticks in between. On, off, like that. Over and over again. And this around the outside here is just an extended version of that. But instead of having 2 sides, it has 17 different sides. Every one of these sticky uppy green bits is kind of a clock point, right, that we can draw power from. So if I turn this off again real quick, let's go boom, break the line like that. And if we hook both of these up together and go boom, you'll see this one is just flipping on and off, whereas this one, where is it? It's going all the way around the outside like that. But it's always synced up again. So these two should sync up completely. Boop. Yep, these 2 lines lit up perfectly. So this allows us around the outside here to keep track exactly where it is, whilst also providing a 3 ticks on, 3 ticks off pulse, like so. By doing something like this, if we pull from underneath every single one of these, if I can do it real quick, up, 3, 4, you can see every time it touched one of these, it pulled out a pulse, an on-off, kind of a heartbeat, so to speak, which is exactly the same as this. So we don't need this one anymore. As long as we connect underneath all of these together, we'll have 3 ticks on, 3 ticks off, as well as 17 individual points to pull from, and every single one of these represents an ingredient, right? So this is number 1. This is kind of the beginning and the end, so to speak. So let's clear this up as well. This is going to be nether wart, for example. This will be one of the ingredients, going all the way around the outside till the 17th one, which I think is going to be dragon's breath here. And all we need to do is have a little way of turning the system on, off, and also breaking the loop. Oh, there we go. So as it came round to the end, because I broke it, the system stopped, which is how we're going to turn the whole Kambruta on and off. But every time you do turn it on, it has to do 17 individual pulses at very specific times before it reaches round to the end. And now at the beginning and the end, we also have a on, off, and looping machine. And it came out pretty good, actually. I'm quite happy with it. Basically, it's just these 2 observers. One is looking upwards. This one is looking downwards. So basically, when anything gets put on this thing, like a block, like a green block, for instance, it will see that and it will basically spit a, whoopsie, I broke things. It will spit a pulse into that redstone there, which then sort of, you can see it will feed straight back into the block and kick things off. That'll go all the way around the edge, but when it receives a pulse back round here again, all it's going to do is send it through that way and keep going. So we have a little thing up here, which if we grab a lever, this is going to be how we turn the machine on and off, right? By pushing a green block down on top of this one. We can test it out here. We go, boom. Yep, because I'm an idiot. We put the lever here so that the piston actually does something and go, bub. There we go. It kicked off a little pulse. I'm going to chase it. I'm going to race it around. Race the pulse. Oh, it's really quick. Boom, boom, boom. All of the ingredients going through, and when it reaches back around to the beginning, it just simply goes back through. But if we stop this, it does nothing. It doesn't send a new pulse, but it does let the rest of the original pulse go round until it reaches the end again, which is very, very important, right? Because each one of these, say this is Netherwart, what this has to do is send a pulse all the way up to the launching machine to a Netherwart container and say, hey, spit a Netherwart out, then also align it with the aligner, fling it out of here, fling it out of there, launch it all the way through the sky. That's what every single one of these has to do with its own individual ingredient, which that's exactly how we time and know what is flying through the air at what time. But yeah, this little system, boop, begin, boop, end, please, once you've finished, is very, very nice. And we'll have this lever up above, somewhere where we can reach, so we don't have to be doing open heart surgery every time. Because I'm not a doctor, I'm a scientist. So now that we have the 17 pulse clock ready with the on-off switch hooked up to the very top as well, we can take a little look at the opposite side of the spectrum here. So this is before the launcher leading into it, right? This is the dropper where things are going to get launched out of. But of course, droppers spit things out randomly. So we don't want to put like all the items in here or anything because they'll come out in a random order. What we actually want to do is feed them one at a time into here so that there is only a specific item in to get flung out. So we'll also store the items over here, pretend there was 17 of these droppers and each one would hold an ingredient all the way down the line. Then that means we can trigger all of these at the beginning of the master clock down there. Just one trigger, and it will spit all the items out. We can actually do an example of that now, like so. If we hook this up to there, boom, there we go. All the items came out, and they all flowed down to here. But they were far too quick. These are like da-da-da-da-da-da, and our clock's more like da-da-da. So, yeah, they would bunch up in here, and that would, again, mean random ones would be getting flung out. So we're going to have to put some kind of throttle system on top of these hoppers as well. And if you lock a hopper with some power, have I got any power to quickly do some locking? Yeah, we can just use a block like so. What we could do is lock them all. Then when we spit items out directly into these hoppers, let me out, please. Like that. It would mean the red one would get spat out into here, but it would just wait there, and vice versa all the way down the line. Then we can quickly flick this line to be off and then on again, super, super fast, and that will shuffle each of the items, each of the ingredients, down one line. So it's kind of like trigger these once every 17 pulses, and then trigger this line every single pulse. And that should give us a nice 17 items in here, and then we can repeat the whole system again. So let's get that whole thing in place, as well as a nice sorting system as well. So once the items have gone through, gone all the way down here, they've got launched, they've gone up through the hole, and they fall down the other side of the room, currently landing in a hopper over there. What they'll need to do is actually go all the way down, a big ice line, just to bring them all the way back across, all the way over to this side, where they will get sorted back into their correct dropper for storage purposes. And with those new additions added, we can begin our first preliminary test. So here we go, flick the big red lever, and that should mean items will begin flowing across the room any moment now. There they go, in the correct order. Hopefully they're landing in this chest just so that we can check the orders correct. But eventually they would come down here and land in our brand new icy wiggly wiggly path that literally takes them all the way along here, up and into a sorting system. That is the white wool area, is just a normal sorter. The only thing of note here is that the turtle shells have to go in the very, very end because you can't sort them out because they don't stack. But everything else is in here, which is very, very nice. We also have two other lines if we head down to the main clock. We've got the light blue line here. This is the one that triggers once every 17 ticks. So every time it goes round. And we also have a green line coming from the middle that is kind of our heartbeat. So they both also touch the white area over here. You can see the heartbeat is coming up into this piston that makes it into a 2-tick thing. So we are throttling the hoppers here so they don't all flow out too quickly. That just makes it so that this one doesn't get too overloaded, and it means that only one item is in here at a time. And then the blue line here, which is 1 every 17 ticks, that goes underneath all the droppers just to spit out 17. So it'll be like, boom, 17, and then it clears all 17, and then boom, another 17 items, and clear it all again. The only interesting thing to note here is they're not in the same order, right? If you take a look at this, we've got Netherwart at the beginning, then we have Dragon's Breath, then we have Magma Cream, for instance, but in the actual order of things flying through, they're still coming through, over here, boom, if we look at this chest, we have Wart, Magma Cream, and the Dragon's Breath isn't right till the very end. So it's a strange update order of the pistons back there, but it doesn't matter too much, because if you take a look at this here, you'll see that everything comes through in the same order. It's a consistent order every single time. But you know what? Call me crazy, but I don't think the look of this room is exactly what we're after. I think we might want to decorate, take a little bit of a break from the redstone in, and yeah, spruce the place up a little. Oh, yeah, I love those little stop-motion time lapses. They're very, very cool. All right, so we have a much more prettier room now centered around this trapdoor. Look at all this powerful stuff around here. Items flying through in the correct order, 1 through 17, and then they repeat. We know exactly when each item is going to be coming through, too, down below with a special clock. All we need to do now is hook up the trapdoor to our controls. These are all our primary ingredients. This is going to be glowstone, redstone. This is going to be gunpowder and dragon's breath. That's our on-off switch. This over here is going to be our make a potion switch. So that is what we have left to do. But before we do real quick, you'll see I've got obviously all the ingredients flow through. Oh, rabbit foot. Can I grab one? Where's the other one? A turtle shell thing as well. I want to try and grab them, but I don't think they're going to be coming through anytime soon. Rabbit's foot's coming up. Grab. And turtle shell. And, oh, I missed it. I missed the turtle shell completely. Oh, I think we might be out of turtle shell things, actually. There was a little bit of a gap there. Anyway, let's chuck the rabbit foot back. I want to quickly show you where I am getting my rabbit foots and my turtle shells is from. Over here, I've got a little temporary farm for the rabbits. That way, yonder, there is a desert, and I bought back a couple of rabbits, put them in this top little bit here. This one's kind of stuck in glass. I don't know what he's doing, but basically, you grab some carrots, something good old carrots. Boom, we've got plenty. Look at all this other stuff we've got. So much meat and things. And, oh, I grabbed one carrot. Well done, me. You can basically go up here and feed them like so. Breed them up. And because the fence gates there are super teeny tiny, it lets babies fall down and they end up down here in this bottom bit where you can just about aim at them through this little gap here and kill them, thus getting a whole bunch of stuff, usually rabbit's feet as well. They're kind of a 1 in 10 drop, so you've got to kill quite a few. I think we've got about 20 odd. And then the next ones over here are turtle shells. This is kind of my egg incubator area, if you will. Over on that island over there, I don't know if you can see them, there are a couple of turtles that you just breed up with seagrass and eventually they lay eggs. I bring those eggs up to here and then we just chuck them on the sand here. And it's a little safe haven for eggs to just live nice and happily. So we can break this up. We could just go egg, 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 like so, and put them all the way along. And then eventually after like 2 or 3 days, they grow, turn into a baby, babies swim around, and eventually when they grow up, they drop a scoot. It's crazy how difficult it is to get scoots, because you need 5 of them as well to make a turtle helmet thing too. So, and that's 1 ingredient. So, yeah, we're going to need plenty more of those, but that is how I have been getting those. The rest of the stuff is fairly easy to buy or to just collect myself too. But yeah, let's get back redstone in and make some trapdoors flappity flap. Okay, so let's pretend that our green line, our heartbeat, was controlling the trapdoor like so. You'll see it would literally hit every single item into the thing, right? It's flapping every single time, which is fine, but we want to be able to control that. We want to basically make it pick and choose which ones we have. So instead of hooking up to the lime green line here, I've added a very similar pink line above, but you can see this is never, ever, ever flashing because wherever the pulse is, let's follow it round, it's going through all these repeaters, but the repeaters can't touch the pink line there. However, if we have some pistons, that means we can literally bring a block down like that. Then when the pulse does come round, you'll see the pink line, boop, it lit up on that one, and we've brought the pink lines all together to one central location. So yeah, wherever we have blocks being pushed down on these points, the trapdoor will flap. So whatever ingredient this particular one is, it's the, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's the 6th ingredient, I don't know what that is, that makes the trapdoor flap. So if we copy the piston above every single one of these empty pink blocks all the way around, all 17 items, that allows us to control which items do flap and which items don't flap. Okay, we've hit that point in any ZF creation where I don't really understand how the next bit works. I kind of just stumbled my way through, and it does, but I will do my best to explain it to you. So when we have the items flying through, and we have this magical start button here, we will have already input all of our settings with the levers, and then boom, when we press this, that's when we want one potion to get made. But of course, the items could be flying through at any stage, so we kind of need a way to save our request in storage until the beginning of a fresh cycle. And that is exactly what the redstone down here does. The cyan line here, the turquoisey line, and the brown line. So we basically have 2 memory cells. This is all it is, 2 regular pistons with a block in between. So at the moment, it allows the signal through, but really it actually needs to start in this stage here, which doesn't allow the signal through. And then we have exactly the same thing here as well. So when we press our button up there, that is the turquoise line. It puts memory cell number 1 into accepting position, but it doesn't do anything else yet. That's all it does. The brown line here is on the very end item. The number 17, whenever the 17th item comes through, a brown line gets sent, and the brown line pretty much just resets both of the memory cells to the off position, but it also does a sneaky little send a pulse through here too, which means the second memory cell gets set to on, and the second memory cell here, you can see, is powered through the pink line. So basically, only when the second memory cell is kind of on, that's when the pink line stuff gets sent through. And then obviously when it gets all the way around again, the brown line resets it and sends it off. So yeah, our pink trapdoor line, now we've moved the trapdoor over to here through the yellow line. That'll only go through one round once of all 17 items. You see why it's getting confusing? I think that's it. I think I understand. We just now obviously need to send the yellow line all the way up to the top there, just in a big old blibbity-doob, simple line, so that the trapdoor's not down here, but it's actually up there on the roof. And whilst we're building the Start Go button, it's the perfect time to also build the bottling feature too. So basically, this is how we used it. We'd come along here, grab some bottles. We can just go make them all. We're going to start throwing them out when our inventory is full, but that's okay. Then we can just literally chuck as many as we like into either chest, either side. Plenty of storage there for plenty of bottles. And they are feeding. Hi, Cub. Hello. They are feeding into a dropper below this one. So let's go down. Right, here's the bottom side. You can see the hoppers coming from the chest there, just all going into this bottom dropper. So we got to get them up one dropper and then up into the brewing stand. And that's why these two observers facing off are ready to go. As soon as we push that button, it's going to do the turquoise line, of course. It's going to smush these two together. And I think it does 6 little pulses into both droppers, and I guess I could just press it because nothing else is going to happen. I fell down everywhere. Okay, right, a little bit of mob proof in there, by the way. Here, so you can see, even when this thing is completely empty and we push the button, ba-doop, boop, we got 3 up here, and we also got 2 spares as well. So it's always going to make sure it's full as long as we have bottles in the system somewhere. Psst. Hi, we've reached the final little part of this whole build. One more thing left to make this thing work, hopefully. Fingers crossed. That is all of these levers behind me and these ones over here too. They need to do stuff. At the minute, they do nothing other than just provide me with a little bit of entertainment for a few seconds. So what these are all going to have to do, every single one is going to have to hook up to a lime green bit on the master clock below. There's 17 of them, and there are 15 here, and 4 over there. That adds up to 19, doesn't it? That doesn't make sense. No, because we have some duplicates as well. So there are 3 potions in the game that you can add a fermented spider eye to invert them. So one of them is this. That's why there's 2 golden carrots here. These first 3 make regular ones. This one here will make a night vision potion. This one will make the same potion, but it will also add a fermented spider eye to it. The same with the second melon one, the same with the second sugar. And then the only other one that's different is this first one is actually going to turn off netherwort and replace it with just fermented spider eye. So we've got orange for all the regular ones, each individual thing to the individual ingredient. We have purple for any that rely on fermented spider eyes. And then these 4 over here just hook up to their regular ones too. So let me get all of that plugged in, and then it'll be time to test. And there they all are, the orange tentacles of everythingness. All of those levers, all down to these pistons here that let the thing come through. Remember, that pink line will flash no matter what cycle we're on. It's the turquoise and the brown logic here. That gate that makes sure that only once does the pink line get sent through. But yeah, that should be everything. There might be a few tweaks I've got to make, but we should be able to now brew some potions. And it looks like I've found myself a Mr. Mumbo who's willing to help me test this thing.
Yes, indeed. I don't know what that involves. I honestly, you haven't given me too much information as to what is required of me, but I'm just happy to be here.
Good. Have you made a potion before?
Not in a long time, actually, to be quite frankly honest with you, ZF. Am I expected to remember the recipes here, or is this...
You, my friend, have come to the right place, because this machine, just through here, step on down, is the Combruta version 2.0 that does all your potion-y needs for you, and you need to remember absolutely nothing at all. So it's finished. I've just spent the whole day working on this crazy thing.
Right.
I'll give you a clue. Hit this lever first, and then you can just peruse and select whichever potion you like, and we'll watch it be made in front of our very eyes.
Is there a potential that it could break? Do I have to be a little bit careful?
You can be as rough as you like.
Right. Okay, so this is going.
Takes
is that good?
It warms up. It warms up.
Okay. Okay. Oh! Oh! This is fancy.
Okay, so the machine's now on. It's passive. Now we need to select which potion we want. So you see we've got a bunch of settings over here for potions. You got your duration and stuff over there. You got whether you want to make it splashing or anything. So hit the potion.
So I guess, do I have to do it in any specific order, or is it all fine?
Pull any lever you like in any order.
Right, okay, so I definitely want it to be a splash potion. I definitely want it to last a long time, and I definitely want to have speed. This one.
Speed. Okay, fantastic. So when your settings are correct, here's the button. Feel free to press it and then watch the magic.
Oh, only press once, all settings. Okay, everything is correct. Good stuff.
Okay, now we wait. We wait. Which potion did you get again? Speed potion.
Speed potion.
Okay.
So wait.
Oh.
That is so cool. How is that?
It's not finished yet. Boom.
What? That is genius. That is actually really, really, really cool, dude. This is wicked.
Was that your potion? I feel like a magician now. I do realise I forgot to put some water bottles in, so that's my only bad. But hold on.
No. That's absolutely. You also need the blaze powder in the top. There,
oh goodness me! Where's the blaze powder when you need it? You sell it, don't you?
Hey. I do sell it. Do we have to go all the way back to my shop to get blaze powder?
Have you got any like loose in your pockets or something? Hold
on.
I
don't just walk around with blaze powder on me, dude.
Stand there and look pretty. Or just stand there, I guess.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. I've got some.
Okay.
Pop it in there. They're brewing all up. You can see though that they're in the right order in the hopper even to brew your requested potion. So
this is wicked. Is there any chance am I allowed to get like a little sneak peek at the redstone, or is that pulling back the curtain? Is that?
Please do. I would love you to crawl around through the redstone.
Okay. I'm excited.
If we head down here, it's a little bit of a spaghetti mess.
This is definitely a spaghetti mess.
I have tried to color code it. It makes sense if you watch my episode.
This is like a real spaghetti mess.
It's a computer, man. You're inside a computer.
Well, this is like this reminds me of this is like a proper Redstone contraption. I love seeing this sort of thing, and I admire your commitment to actually using the coloured wool in survival as well.
It was a necessity because this thing is so complicated and confusing to me. I barely know how it works.
This is the coolest thing ever. This is wicked. I'm gonna try and like reverse engineer this thing and then do my typical thing of like trying to make it as small as possible.
Oh, please, if you could, people definitely can compact this, and I would love them to, because this thing's probably about 5 times bigger than it needs to be. But
this is so fancy. This is so cool. This is by far this is the coolest potion brewing stations I've ever seen. It is the coolest thing ever.
Clip that, folks. You heard it here first. Mumbo's seal of approval. This is
so cool. Yeah, this is so smart, dude. This is so smart, and I just absolutely love the commitment to doing something this ridiculous.
Well, it's over now, and I've never been happier that a project's finished, so...
Yeah. Wow, absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Mumbo, for visiting. Thank you for your seal of approval. You're going to have to try and work out how to get out of here yourself now.
I think I'm just going to fly off into the sunrise, I reckon.
Go for it. That would be really majestic. I'll put some music over the background and...
Oh, please do. You ready for this cinematic exit?
Yeah. Here he goes. Goodbye, Mumbo.
Goodbye. I think that actually this way is north, now that I'm realising.
So there we have it, folks. The Kombrota version 2.0 is now Mumbo approved and working successfully. Oh my goodness me. I am very, very happy. It is so much better than the first one, I must say. It's not just only flingier, but I think it's much more usable as well, and it's just nicer to see. A little bit of waiting time, because obviously you've got to wait for your set of items to come back round again, but I am holding Mumbo's potion in my hand right now, the ones that he made, so... have some of that. Oh, it got me as well. But that is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, remember you can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. All those good things that help me out and help to support the channel. A massive thank you, as always, to my wonderful, beautiful patrons whose names are being flung onto the screen right now. These people have helped to support me and support the channel and make episodes like this possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But until the next episode, a good-bye.